Hey patrons, welcome back to our channel. First of all, thank you guys so much for your continuous support to our channel. We love you guys so much. And now, our disclaimer, as we always do for every spoiler review, if you have not seen Avengers Endgame, get out of this video. We're going to be talking about spoilers. You don't want to hear it. Believe me, you don't. Don't ruin your own experience because you're not going to see it for months later. Just come back. This video will be here. So
we'll be here when you come back. So we're
promise.
good to go. If you're not, come back later.
Yeah, hit pause, save it, bookmark it, whatever you got to do, come back. The video will be here for your viewing pleasure. So now, we are going to talk about spoiler Avengers. But before we get into the nitty-gritty, I want to know, Dustin, without going into too much detail right off at the beginning, because I think you guys have already seen my non-spoiler review, which is up on our regular channel. Obviously, I liked it. I liked it a lot. I cheered a lot. Saw it for the second time tonight. Liked it better. Even better the second time. So I think that says a lot, because you don't just sit through a 3-hour movie to be like, well, yeah, I've seen it. Okay, it's cool. Like,
well, right off the bat, I want to say that this did not feel like a 3-hour movie. This movie moved all along very quickly. And even though there were some parts in the movie that I was kind of like, oh, you did that? You made those choices? Okay, I don't quite like what they did. Overall, I love this movie. I thought it was awesome. I had some biggest cheers of my life in this movie.
You really did. I heard you.
Yep.
And we'll get into those in a second.
Yeah, so, do you want me to give them my rating? Or?
Yeah, you know what? Go ahead and give you a rating.
Catch it opening night.
There you go.
Go see it right now. We're going to put this up. It's already going to be opening night, so it's going to be a little late. So go see it right now.
My question for you is, before we jump into spoilers, does this hit or cross the 300 million box office mark?
Boo. Oh, 300... Wait, 300
million.
Million. Oh,
that's
for opening weekend.
For opening weekend. That's the highest.
I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah. I mean, honestly, this is probably one of the biggest movies of history.
I mean, it crashed the AMC website. And you were put in queues if you didn't get into Fandango, like, right at the beginning. Like, good luck.
Yeah, so we were lucky to get the tickets that we did get.
And they were crap seats.
Yes, they were. We were three rows from the front all the way over to the side.
So we were like, oh, God, I can't. Oh, there's a spider.
Oh, do you want me to pause and get it now?
Yep,
well,
sorry.
We shall return.
Okay, sorry about that. We're back. My spider slayer saved me, so sorry about that. Okay, let's jump into spoilers. We're going to try to go in chronological order so we don't lose our place, but we are going to talk about some of our favorite moments. We're going to talk about some things that we're seeing as maybe a plot hole, maybe not, maybe just our basic thoughts on it. So let's get started with how the movie starts, which is exactly where I was hoping they would go, and I'm sure a lot of people speculated this. That is Hawkeye and where he was with his family when the snap happened. And because based on the trailer, we all saw that he, was dressed in the Ronin.
Yeah, and he took off the Ronin hood, and he was like crying. And it's like, we knew that he was.
Yeah, we knew that he didn't get dusted. Yeah. But most likely the rest of his family did, and we saw exactly that. And I'll say this, even though we kind of expected this, still very heartbreaking.
Oh yeah, to see it, to be able to be like, you knew what was going to happen, you knew almost immediately how it was going to happen. It was still very moving and heartbreaking to see his reaction to it.
He freaked out when he couldn't find his daughter. At first he was like, but where'd she go? And then turns around, and there were other people. His family weren't the only people on that field. There were other people there, and they were just gone, and you just see the panic completely overtake his face, and he's like, what the F just happened? Then we go back to the Avengers. They meet Carol Danvers, which I think is great. I like how she got Tony and Nebula back to Earth, and I don't know if you noticed this, but Tony was like gone, like skeleton.
Oh yeah, he was, because Nebula doesn't need much in the way of sustenance.
Right.
That's why she was like, no, you take the food.
Yeah.
So
I do like their little football game.
That was funny. And
you
saw this.
And he's like, that's not how it works.
I like that. It showed that they were building a bond, getting a good friendship, and building up Nebula's humanity, so to speak.
Yeah, and Nebula really has come a long way. I mean, all these characters have, but
Yeah.
she really has come from like a very cold assassin, doesn't care about, hates her sister, only wants to please her father, but secretly hates him because what he's done to her, to become this team player, you know, and caring about other people and putting them first. So I do love seeing that relationship. So Carol saves them, bring them back. By the way, like, it just looked awesome when she like flew in with the ship. People were like, whoa, like people in the theater were like, whoa. And I think it was great meeting her for the first time, and she was like, so let's just go get him. I'm gonna kill him. And they're like, hold up, new girl. We're also about that superhero life. And I was like, but you guys don't know. Like, maybe
you don't know.
I think Thor was the only one that kind of sensed it. Was
Yeah.
like, oh, she's worthy, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I wonder if she would be able to pick up the hammer.
Actually,
Probably
I don't.
not.
Probably not. I think.
Probably
I mean,
not.
it was kind of. I'll save that for later.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, even though I'm kind of like, how did Carol find them? I mean, I guess they might kind of know where they're at, but then again,
well, I mean,
how would
she's
they?
got her own like system that she, you know, she travels through all these different. Yeah, she knows people. She's even said it like, how do we know where Thanos is? She's like, how are you gonna find him? She's like, I'm sure there's somebody I know that would know who he is and where to find him. So she definitely has her own network of people, if you will. But anyway, they do figure out where Thanos was because they found the energy of the stones being used again. So they find Thanos. He's by himself. There's no army. There's no base. There's no whatever. It's just him. They're like, let's fucking take him. Oh, sorry. Let's take him. Sorry, guys. I got really excited. And I first of all loved how they took him down.
Yeah.
And Thor was just like, he's so upset with himself because if he went for the head in Infinity War, the snap wouldn't have happened. None of it would have happened.
And
right?
he would have been perfectly fine.
But he got him in the chest, thinking that
he wanted to have his little moment of you'll die for that.
Yeah, and because he killed Loki, and I get it. Thor's lost a lot in his lifetime too, and to see Loki and Heimdall killed like that in front
that's
of
when
him,
he said you'll die for that. Is when he killed Heimdall.
Right. So, you know, I get it, but Thor this time didn't waste any time. Came in, chopped off the arm that had the gauntlet on. Unfortunately, the gauntlet don't have
no
any
more
stones. So.
And then I was kind of like, oh, wow. And then the fact that, he went right for the arm, little talk, whap. And I was like, whoa.
I gasped out loud.
I was like,
Did not see that coming. Did not see that coming.
Okay, well, that's an interesting take to go on this.
Right, because I thought this was within, like, the first 15, 20 minutes of the movie.
Yeah, really fast.
And I was like, so if you kill Thanos now, for me, one, if they did this now, what are they going to do for the rest of the movie? Like, what else can I expect? Because that was a pretty big moment. And then, immediately, my head went, oh, they're going to time travel. It's obvious.
Yeah, because I know there were some shots in the trailers that showed him in his full armor and that double-bladed sword. So I was like, okay, yeah, they're going to go back in time. Because then, right after that, the next big thing that happened was Paul Rudd.
Yes.
Right? Was Ant-Man.
The 5 years later.
Yeah, the 5 years later.
I liked that time jump, by the way.
He was holding up the sign saying, help me.
And Ken Jeong was like, who? I love the Ken Jeong cameo. That was great. Yeah, I was not expecting the 5 years later jump either. I thought maybe it was going to be a 5 months or 5 weeks or something like that. Maybe five months, but 5 years.
And I kind of like that. It showed that, how big of a hit it still took for people, and the fact that it didn't turn the Earth into a utopia or into that,
what
paradise.
Thanos had expected to rebalance the universe or whatever. His theory was it was all just distraught and pain, and the city didn't look the same. Nobody cleaned up after. There was no rebuilding. There was no very little sense of community for what it seemed like, except for what Captain America was trying to do in his little survival group with a cameo by Joe Russo, which I thought was great.
I thought that was awesome.
Yeah, that's to put one of the directors in it was fantastic.
And I thought it was hilarious too because you knew exactly who in the theater got that joke because you heard a little just
but not
from a few
everybody
people,
knew.
and you were able to hear those people who actually got it. Everyone else was like, "What's so funny?
Yeah,
I don't get it."
what I liked about the time lap the 5 years later was that we see how our Avengers, our heroes, are trying to cope, and Cap is trying to do his thing by trying to be optimistic and uplifting and trying to
And
bring
help.
people together and helpful. And where Black Widow is, she's trying. She's still trying. She meets with the remaining Avengers.
Well, she's taken over Nick Fury's kind of role.
Right, because there's nothing else for her to do, and she said it so many times throughout the movie that, like, she was alone. She had no family, nothing before this.
So she lost her family.
She lost it, so she's trying everything she can to kind of hold on to that as well, to busy herself with something to the point where, like, she's like, how are we going to handle the earthquake? And Okoye's like, we handle it by not handling it. It's an earthquake. But I get her, where she is, and she's just sad, and especially when Rhodey kind of told her about, hey, I think that's Hawkeye. That popped up in, I think it was either Mexico or New Mexico, and she kind of was like, she's like, in the tears. Gosh, she's so good.
She's
with
an
acting.
amazing good actress.
Like,
she's an amazing actress.
Just like on cue, and she was like, just please tell me where he's gonna go next. She just, her family, they're all gone, But if Hawkeye is alive, that's a little bit more connection without there. But Ant-Man Returns.
Yep.
I did not really particularly love how they brought him back out of the quantum realm.
Yeah,
That was by a rat turning on the machine. I
thought that was a little weak.
Look, we're nitpicking at it, but I was kind of like, oh really, we're gonna do it like this? I don't know. I just thought maybe one of the Avengers was gonna go in
and get all their
Hulk
stuff
or something like that. Yeah. Exactly. But anyways, it's a long movie. A lot of things has to happen. If that was the quickest way for Scott Lang to return to this world, fine, so be it. If the moment was there, it served its purpose. The rat wins. Yay. So he returns, and he basically was like, guys, time heist. We can get the stones, and we can use it to reset everything.
Yeah.
We can bring back the people we lost. So they present this to... Go ahead.
First they come and they present it to Professor Hulk. Oh, no, was it Tony? Tony. Who was first, Tony or...
Professor Hulk.
First. It was first Professor Hulk that they went to. Mm-hmm. And they talked to him about it, and they're like, he's like, well, this isn't really my area of expertise.
And who has a bigger brain other than Tony Stark? Which I love when they went to him. He's not living in his mansion. Mm-mm. He's taken this lovely little lakeside home. He's married to Pepper Potts, has an adorable little daughter, and basically was like...
Super cute.
Look, I get it. I appreciate what you guys are trying to do. I got this thing right here, and he's learned to love someone else more than himself, and he's holding on to that so hard, because he also lost everything. Yeah. Essentially, I mean, he didn't lose everything. He still has Pepper. He's got a daughter, but
yeah, like Pepper said in that scene, we got lucky.
Yeah, they got really lucky.
So many people didn't. So
he turned it down, but eventually, runs the little model test. It works. He's like, God, I can actually fix this whole thing.
I could, yeah.
Sets it in motion, goes back to the team, and they go time traveling, which I loved because they went back to the first Avengers
Those were really cool moments. They did a good job on mixing those in with, I think they used some original footage, and they took out, and then they added just a few other scenes in there to kind of mix it in. The one that I thought they did really good at was when they went back for the Power Stone with Star-Lord. And how they're going, so basically he's an idiot.
Yeah, because you have, like, when we see Star-Lord and he's, like, grooving to the music,
we hear that was right.
And then you see him, and it's just like, Rhodey's just, like, not impressed. Nebula's like, this is the guy.
This is the guy that my sister fell in love with.
And I love that he's kind of like, all right, well, I got this. I thought it was going to be hard for them. I really thought that getting the actual Power Stone was going to be hard, but
that one was actually one of the easiest ones.
Except for Nebula's journey through that.
Yeah.
Where she got kidnapped by Thanos and got.
And I thought that was also a really what is that called? I don't want to say interesting, convenient plot device that the two Nebulas were linked. I thought
Oh, okay. I didn't see it that way at first, but yeah,
I thought it was an interesting way of doing it. I'm wondering if there's any way that we could have sat down and thought of a different way.
Well,
But
if we do, we'll make a whole new video about
oh
it.
yeah.
But other moments that I really want to talk about within this is the captain versus captain fight scene. Phenomenal.
That was an awesome fight scene.
That was really great. American's ass was all over. It was great. I also loved the elevator moment where he was like, I was like, oh, we're going to see the elevator fight?
Yeah, me too. I thought they were going because they were all reaching for their weapons.
They were ready.
Because they were all Hydra.
And he's like, trust me, Hail Hydra. And they're like, oh. I mean, what a smart move because he could have fought and taken all of them on. He would have been fine. But he was like, let's just do this the easy way. I've been here. I've seen this. Hell Hydra, just give me the damn thing. However, they don't succeed, so they have to travel back to 1970, which...
Well, they succeeded in getting the Mind Stone.
The Tesseract.
No. They had to go back and get the Tesseract.
That's what it was, yes.
They had the Mind Stone.
The scepter, yeah.
Yeah. And I like how Tony's like, wait a second, there's a possibility that Hank Pym and the Tesseract would be in the same place.
With the pin particle,
so that means they can travel back to their original time and they can have it all work out.
And it sure did, and if you want to call that lazy writing, or if you want to call that brilliant, I don't know. I pick brilliance because I think that's perfect because we got to see Tony have that closure with his dad. And it was so sweet because I think Tony really needed that, you know? And this whole movie, upon second viewing, it really is all about, it's Tony's entire arc.
Yeah.
Full circle beginning to end because...
Well, Tony and Cap.
Yes. Yeah. Even when Cap sees Peggy again, you know, and that was fantastic. Another moment I want to talk about is we gotta talk about Thor. We gotta talk about out of shape Thor.
Oh yeah.
Oh boy, I did not see that coming.
No, I didn't either.
I get it. I think in the comics they actually did allude to him the heavy drinking, but not like the out of shape Potbelly.
Oh yeah.
Thor.
I was like, whoa.
Melted ice cream.
It was like
a little shocking. A little different. This is what I was talking about in my review. I was like, so they went with, I mean, this was one of the many things, but I was like, oh, they're going to go with this direction? Sure. Look, I trust Marvel. They've been doing this for 10 years, 21 movies. Now this is the 22nd movie. Go ahead. I'm along for the ride. Take my money. It's fine. And it just, for me, my problem is it's not because Thor was fat, I said that backwards. It's the fact that they acknowledged it, but they kept on going back to it, and I was like, all right, well, this is like, I just wanted to focus on other things, especially in his like God moment where he was wielding a Stormbreaker and Mjolnir at the same time.
Oh my god, that part was awesome.
His power braided his beard, his hair was done, but it was like they still like showed it, and I was like, no, but this was like a serious like hero moment. Like we didn't need to break that into a like humorous thing. It didn't need that. Like if you wanted him to be out of shape, it's fine. But that they didn't need to call attention to it at that moment. I just thought that was a misplaced thing in my opinion. But
I like the jokes that they did make about it though, about him looking very dude like.
Oh yeah. Tony Stark made that little reference. It was great. I also liked all the time travel references, like Back to the Future and all that. Hot Tub Time Machine. We have to talk about Natasha and Hawkeye and the Soul Stone. How Nebula did not warn them that this was going to happen.
Yeah.
I don't know, but it was also I wonder if they either one, they shot it and they didn't use it, or two, in Nebula's mind is like, well, whatever it takes, right? You guys are going to figure it out. Yeah. Because she is that kind of person. She doesn't really have empathy. So, which is not a bad thing. It's just her character, and it's kind of what's endearing about her. So I think that's kind of the case, but I really didn't know who I wanted to be the one that sacrificed himself, because I could see.
I knew it was gonna be
both of their points. No, hold on. But I could see both of their points. So I was like, it could be Hawkeye because he feels like it's the right route for him to go, being becoming what he's become and
Yeah.
killing all these people. And Natasha is kind of like, I mean, she said it in the movie, and I was like, both feels right. I feel like Hawkeye wasn't in, what movie was it that he wasn't in? Age of Ultron? No, Infinity War.
Yeah, he wasn't in Infinity War
He basically missed out on an entire movie, so, and Black Widow's had a lot. So it's, if you want to kind of like use that as logic, if you want to.
Yeah,
But,
and also Black Widow has been in a lot more. But also, I was thinking that, well, we're doing this also to bring back your family.
yes.
You know, how horrible would it be that we go through all of this and you don't get to get your family?
And your family is back, but you're not here.
Yeah, exactly.
And Natasha, aside from her Avengers family, doesn't really have family.
Yeah.
So I get it. The only another reason why I really didn't love the choice, because one, I don't want to see people dying, and two, we lost Gamora, a badass Avenger / Guardians of the Galaxy, to the So-So, and we lose another badass female to the like. I'm just kind of like, well, what the heck? Why the ladies? Even though we got a great ladies moment at, you know what I mean?
Yeah,